tutorial for the long sleeve tie front top. If you've purchased this pattern from me, thank you so much, and please share your creations with me afterwards because I love to see them. So this is a really beginner friendly project. It's perfect for one of your first projects because it's super simple. I'm going to be making mine today in some gingham cotton. Any light to medium weight woven fabric will work well for this. So before you're ready to start this sew along video, make sure that you've downloaded the instruction pack that is in the downloadable items and worked your way through that first, because that will prepare you to be ready to start this. It will tell you how to print the pages, how to assemble them together to reveal your pattern. You can check the size chart to check your size, and then it will also explain how to cut your pieces. So once you've done that, you'll be at the stage that I'm at now, and that is with your pieces cut. So the pieces that you'll have cut are 4 straps, tie front straps, 2 front facing pieces, and then also some fusing to match them, a back neck facing piece and the fusing also, and then 2 front pieces and then 1 back piece which has been cut on the fold. So once you have all them pieces ready, then we are ready to start this tutorial. So the first step is to iron on your fusing to your front and back neck facing pieces. So you want to iron this onto the wrong side of your fabric. So this is my back neck facing here, and I've got the wrong side facing up, and I'm now going to join the fusing with my iron on a medium heat and then repeat for the front neck facings. Next, we're going to join the shoulder seams of the front and back facing pieces with the wrong sides of the fabric facing together. And then we're going to stitch with the 1 centimeter seam allowance. And then next, push the seam allowance towards the back neck facing with your iron. And now we're going to overlock around this entire outside edge of your facing pieces. Next, take your front and back pieces, and with the right sides of your fabric facing, we're going to join the shoulder seam and the side seam. So with my back piece here, this is the right side facing me, and then with my front piece, this is my right side facing down, so they're together. And then next, we're going to stitch all of these with a 1 centimeter seam allowance, then overlock the seam allowance. And then use your iron to press all of your seam allowances towards the back piece. Now we're going to assemble your straps. So take your strap and with one of the short ends, first fold that in 0.5 centimeters and give it a press with your iron. And then on each of these long sides, we're going to fold in 0.5 as well. And then finally, we're going to fold it in half long ways again, right down the middle. Give it an iron and then repeat that for all 4 of your straps. And now we can sew all of these straps. So we're going to sew along the long open edge and then across the top. Next, take your front and back piece again, and on this neckline here I've put notches where I'm going to put the straps, so you can follow these also, but if you want to just do one strap or if you want to move the straps further apart, then you can do that. You don't have to follow my notches. But what we're going to do is, with the right side of the fabric, we're going to pin a strap in place for each side. And make sure that you're putting the raw end on the notch, and then the closed end is your neat and tidy end that's going to be free. And then take your front and back neck facing pieces, and with the right sides of your fabric together, we're just going to pin them all together. So start at your shoulder seams and then work your way around pinning. So once we've got them all pinned together, we're now going to stitch with a 1 centimeter seam allowance, and we're going to stitch across this bottom here also. So we're going to start here with a 1 centimeter seam allowance, stitch up to here, keep your needle down and lift your foot up, and then stitch around the entire edge here back to this point here. Next, with this seam allowance, first we're going to cut these corners to remove the bulk and repeat for both sides. And then into any area that's got a slight curve, so for example this front neckline here, and then definitely along this back neckline, we're going to cut notches into the seam allowance. So to do that, we're just going to cut as close to that stitch line as possible without actually cutting through the stitch line, and we're just going to go ahead and do that all the way around here. And the more kind of extreme the curve is, then the more notches you need in that area. So just go around and add some notches to the seam allowance. We're now going to understitch on this facing. So what that means is we're going to be stitching on the side of the facing, and under here we're going to make sure that we catch the seam allowance in towards the side of the facing, and we're going to stitch about 2 millimeters from this stitch line. So you won't be able to get right to the bottom here because you've also sewn along that bottom edge, but just get in as close as you can. And when you are putting your needle down, just make sure that your seam allowance is sitting towards this facing here. It's underneath your facing. And then we're going to stitch all the way around, with a 0.2 centimeter seam allowance. Just regularly checking that you are catching the seam allowance in towards the side of the facing. And next we're going to overlock it across this entire bottom edge. Next, fold your face into the inside and then you can give it a press with your iron. And then also this bottom edge, now that you've put your face into the inside, this front corner will be kind of nicely hidden, and then just go along with the rest of the seam allowance and press it up 1 centimetre. And then we can go along with the machine and stitch this hem. Next, take your sleeves and fold them long ways with the right sides together, and then stitch with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. And then we're going to overlock the seam allowance of each sleeve. Next, we're going to press the seam allowance of your underarm sleeve towards the back, and the back is the side that has 2 notches on the armhole, so I can see 2 notches on this side here, so I know this is the back. So I'm going to press my seam allowance towards that side and then repeat for the other sleeve. So it's now time to insert your sleeves. So to do this, I like to have my top inside out and then have the sleeves the right way. And then what we're going to do is matching up the notches. So the back side is the side with the 2 notches at the armhole, and then the front side, so this is the back with 2 notches, and then the front sleeve is the one with 1 notch, and then you've also got a notch for your shoulder seam. So making sure that you're matching up the front and back notches, we're going to pin your armholes together. So as I said, this is the wrong way around, and then I've got my sleeve the right way around, and I'm just going to go in and match up the underarm point, the underarm seam, and then working from this side here, you can then pin all the way around. Then we're going to go ahead and sew the arm in place. So next you can go ahead and overlock the seam allowance of the armhole. The final step is to finish your cuffs. So to do this, I'm going to fold twice, first 0.5 and then 0.5 again. And I'm going to press it with my iron and pin it and then stitch it in place.